All right, welcome back. President Trump has laid out more than 140 executive orders since January, bypassing Congress on key issues like immigration, tariffs, and of course, government cuts. And congressional leaders are already forging ahead on the next 100 days. CBS News Congressional correspondent Nikole Killion joins us now with more on this. Nikole, good morning to you. How is Congress marking President's first 100 days in office? I know we just heard some remarks from the House Speaker a short time ago.
Yeah, well, they're marking it in different ways, depending on whether you're a Republican or Democrat. Obviously, Republicans are taking a victory lap and citing what they say are the president's wins over the last 100 days, the fact that he has kept many of his promises. And even in terms of those executive orders you mentioned, many Republican leaders think that is a good thing. In that House Republican GOP conference that took place just before we went on the air, they were talking about the fact that, the president from day one kind of acted on many of the things he said he would do on the campaign trail, and they see their role here in Congress as trying to codify some of those changes, whether it is potentially dismantling the Department of Education, also taking a look at some of the actions the president has made with respect to the border and immigration. So they really would like to codify some of these changes into law, some of the cuts by DOJ, for instance. But right now, they see their role as continuing to be a partner to the president, particularly as they work on his legislative agenda in the coming weeks. Of course, Democrats, for their part, have been quite critical of the president, basically calling these last 100 days disastrous. We expect House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries to speak on the House floor tomorrow. Senate Democrats are expected to take the floor later today to highlight what they feel have been major blunders on the part of the president with respect to his policies, whether from these DOJ cuts to his tariff policies to some of his other efforts to try to shrink the size of the federal government.
And Nikole, you've done so well in these past 100 days to help our audience understand the importance of this big, beautiful bill that President Trump wants Congress to pass. And it's all around these cuts and spending less. But our CBS News digital team has crunched the numbers and found that during the first 100 days of the president's second term here, the government has actually spent more than $200 billion more than at this time last year. Can you help us and our viewers understand what that means as they try to lay out this agenda?
Yeah, well, those are pretty eye-popping numbers on the part of our data team, but we do know that right now, as I mentioned, House Republicans and Senate Republicans are really in the thick of it here on Capitol Hill in terms of trying to move forward with the president's legislative agenda, that one big, beautiful bill, as you mentioned, which would basically fund the president's priorities with respect to the border, whether that is funding for the wall, beefing up detention beds, etc. Also providing more funding for energy policies that would lead to energy independence. And of course, one of the key parts of this legislation also involves extending the president's tax cuts from 2017. And about $4.5 trillion has been allotted to do that. But in order to pay for that, that money has to come from somewhere. And so Republicans are very serious about trying to make some deep cuts in order to pay for this bill, upwards of $1.5 to $2 trillion. So that is the work that Republicans will be doing over the next couple of weeks to try to find more savings wherever they can.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the interest that the U.S. pays on much of its debt is also a part of why these costs are so high. Got to cut from somewhere. Nikole Killion, thank you so much.